knowledge that has to do with magic is coded as feminine in the late Middle Ages for all sorts of reasons having to do with misogyny and a kind of sort of long-standing belief that women are sort of more superstitious. But what I show is that in the manuscripts that I'm looking at in the 15th century, this misogyny doesn't really show up. That there's recipes for menstruation right alongside recipes for like how to cure a headache. There's just not a kind of like very clearly gendered dynamic within English practical manuscripts. I will, at the same time period, if you're reading manuscripts written in Latin in different regions, different places, you do see that, but not in my English ones, right? Not in these that are meant to like help ordinary people manage their lives. But what I see is that by the 1550s, the English start publishing books of secrets, and they're actually marketed this way. Like they're supposed to be collections of secrets. And they do this because books of secrets are really popular in Italy first, and they actually translate a book of secrets from Italian into English. But one of the sort of paradigms of a book of secrets is that it is literally knowledge collected from people who otherwise would have kept it, like it would not be widely available. So one category of person you collect a secret from is a woman. And so what I show is that this idea of women's knowledge becomes both enticing. It can be a marketing tactic when you're marketing a book that is otherwise filled with like kind of run-of-the-mill mundane knowledge that's not particularly sexy. You put women's knowledge on it, and maybe it's a little secret. It's a little exciting. On the other hand, there are books circulating in the 1550s in England that are like explicitly about magic.
Hmm.
One that is supposed to be credited to the great philosopher Albert the Great, Albertus Magnus. It's very magical. Like it's published in English and it's all about spells and stuff. It's not attributed to a woman at all because you wouldn't put women on that one because if you did, then that would make it very suspicious. Then it would seem dangerous. And so what I'm trying to do is map out how this category of women's knowledge operates against the backdrop of like actual persecutions of women. So like by the 1580s, 1590s, there are really widespread executions of women, specifically in Essex witch trials. So this isn't like yes, it happens at the level of like advertising and what makes a book cool, but then it has consequences for how actual women are persecuted.